Remember that old saying um, that your mind is like a parachute and it works best when it's opened up? Well, how about your program? How about your program of food and how you treat learning new information about food or how things work in your body? Do you pay attention to that? Is your mind just simply closed to thinking anything new might work for you, might be best, might have answers and solutions and results that heretofore you haven't gotten? You know, when I listen to these doctors that I just adore, these nutritionists, these specialists, the podcasts that I just love, you know, there's nothing more, I don't know, it just goes right to my heart than the authenticity of a doctor that will claim 20 years into his practice he was wrong. And I'm not sure, but I'm thinking Dr. Hyman's book might be a little bit about that because he never had oils in his plans before, and his new book coming out that I've pre-ordered, I think is about oil and stuff. So perhaps, he's doing something. So a lot of the really most favorite podcast people that I listen to do that halfway through their career of being a doctor or being a scientist or a researcher. They will admit they were wrong about certain things. And we all know how many millions, maybe billions, the USDA has spent on myplate.gov, which promotes incredible servings of carbohydrates. So you can learn at a very young age how to work on being overweight. Just add the junk, right? So anyway, I know that my mind got opened up, and I don't, I know that I've said this here. I don't know what turned me. I think it was by reading the Wheat Belly diet. I think that's how I kind of turned a little bit and gave up the wheat, then the grains, and then added all the wonderful, delicious coconut oils and olive oil and grass-fed butter and things like that. But I try not to keep my box up here closed. I try to let new things in, and be it how I cook something, or how I dress, or sometimes my hair. I do something a little bit daring, even if they don't show up, the purple streaks, and other things, where I just take that chance, that leap of faith, and I guess I get to learn a lot because I work in the shelters that have, kitchens. And so I get to see how some people cook and, some of their traditions that they bring to their program and when they cook for a night and some of the things that they do. And one of the women, I'll never forget her. Her grandmother was this Portuguese woman from New Bedford, the big fishing capital of Massachusetts, maybe, in the good old days. And whaling as well. And her grandmother had 16 children, and she was always cooking, as you can imagine. And so I was sitting there at the dining room table one day, and my client, she was making this pot roast, and she reaches over and takes the coffee pot and adds a couple of cups of coffee to the broth. And it was like, what are you doing? And she said, oh yeah, that's my mame. My mame always did that. And it's like, so I started to do it, and it's like, oh, it's good. And I just remembered that I forgot to do it the last time I made a pot roast. So anyway, just little things like that I try to keep my mind, let's do it this way. Have you ever been around somebody that has a closed mind? That nothing new has come into their mind or their acceptance level, since 1987. And there they sit, and their lips get more and more pursed, Remember the church lady? About how it should be, how it is for them, how they raise their children, and I can't imagine, but it probably is how they cook and treat food. This is how we do it, and we don't allow any new information in. What a pity. Just like back to the men's health thing that I read a couple of days ago. Buy a vegetable you've never had before. Eat it. Even eat it. Because I did that with a couple of veggies. I remember one time I did the little challenge of buying a vegetable you've never bought and send a picture of it. And don't let it rot on your counter because, you found the most obscure vegetable, but you didn't eat it. It's kind of funny. So, how are you with your closed box? Are you working on your closed box? Do you try to either... Now, one doctor that I was listening to said, my box may be closed, but it keeps getting bigger. And I like that. His standards of what he believes in, what he researches, what he wants more on, he keeps expanding it and putting it into his box. And I think that is a very wonderful thing for us to remember. You want to make your box bigger. Let it fit in new information, things that you've tried, things that work. Don't include them. Don't try them once and say, yeah, that was good, but, my regular program is blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't be where I'm at today with my food and my weight if I remained that closed box. I would still be buying little highly, highly, highly processed snacks with the dubious ingredients in them and making it all work. And granted, it worked until I reached a certain weight. And that's when I began to call where I was maintenance until I got to the low carb, high fat program. And then 10, 15 more pounds just went whoosh. And now I'm settling in, so it's more like maybe 8 pounds, that I lost by going on it. But my set point and my weight, I give myself a break being 65. I'm comfortable where I am. The size still fits. And that's how it rolls, But I keep my box. There is a way to get back into my box. It is not sealed for eternity. Hermetically sealed. I'll never forget my first wedding gown, or I only had one wedding gown, but it was hermetically sealed, whatever that meant. I guess it's so it didn't yellow. So my box is not hermetically sealed. My box has a way back in, and I can go back in and take inventory and throw out things that don't work anymore and let new things in. That's why I love to read my Kindle. That's why I love to listen to my podcast. That's why I like to watch my shows. I get to learn things. Even watching my diet is better than yours. I got to see some new things. And granted, I will not be pulling a tire with a chain for my fitness program. But I did learn other things that are kind of quirky, but it looks like they work and it looks like I could do it. My mode of fitness is using simple things that, small weight dumbbells and the elastic band and the great big ball. I'm not into I have a treadmill, and I use that when it's a blizzard outside like it is today, but that's all. I prefer walking and sucking in the evening nature, which is really early morning. I love the sky, the moon, the stars. And so my box, I kind of keep it open and I kind of let things new in. And I'm always looking at recipes to change up. And I'm having fun with the low carb, high fat food program because I do get to do some new things with animal proteins that I didn't do before because I had this fear of fat. And now I embrace it. So anyway, that's enough. Enough of that. What's your closed box look like? Like Jennifer Garner. What's in your wallet? What's in your closed box? Are you letting in any sunlight, new ideas, new practices, and seeing if they work and then keeping them? It's a great thing. Have a wonderful day. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Bye-bye for now.